Well, this week, Russia's president stated his case against military intervention in Syria to the American people in an open letter published by the New York Times. Vladimir Putin laid out the reasons, saying such a move would not only be ineffective but also dangerous. And there's already a response being planned by one of America's high-profile politicians. Well, Lindsay France is here to tell us more about this now, Lindsay. So a letter entitled A Plea of Caution from Russia. What exactly did President Putin have to say?
Well, with regard to the situation in Syria, he talked about the issue of who intervenes and how they intervene. One of the biggest parts of it was the need for international law, that the United Nations should not go the way of the League of Nations. It's got to be valid. Then he went on to speak about the poisonous gas possibly used in Syria itself and the danger surrounding the way we go in and deal with that. Let's listen to what he wrote about that.
No one doubts that poison gas was used in Syria, but there is every reason to believe it was used not by the Syrian army, but by opposition forces to provoke intervention by their powerful foreign patrons who would be siding with the fundamentalists. Reports that militants are preparing another attack, this time against Israel, cannot be ignored.
Another thing he addresses that garnered strong reaction from many Americans was what is so often heard in American political speeches. It's that of the so-called American exceptionalism, that since America is often motivated to act based on moralistic reasons, it is therefore exceptional, greater, better, or separate. And he points out that that is a very slippery slope and a dangerous mentality for any nation to have. Let's listen.
It is extremely dangerous to encourage people to see themselves as exceptional, whatever the motivation. We are all different, but when we ask for the Lord's blessings, we must not forget that God created us equal.
Now, obviously, this garnered a very hot response from many areas of the American population, but also from many American politicians who are very hot under the collar about citing that philosophy of American exceptionalism.
Well, Lindsay, as you say, a response has already been elicited from a US Senator John McCain. Now, what's his line on this?
Well, there has been some confusion in the press about what his reaction may or may not be as pertains to Russian media. Very interesting, actually. So we've got Senator John McCain stating that that he would be happy to write an editorial piece in Pravda. And so the media turned out these reports that Senator McCain wants to write something, and it wasn't clear which Pravda it was, because we've got Pravda, the print publication, the newspaper, the mouthpiece of the Soviet Union's Communist Party, founded in 1918 by Vladimir Lenin. And it was very confusing whether he meant that or he meant Pravda.ru, which is a news website here, at times very avant-garde. And Russians were kind of flabbergasted. Which one is he talking about? Now, Pravda newspaper's editor said, well, if McCain plans to write something in my newspaper, it's got to be with the party line of thinking. Not likely. It sounds more like an article in The Onion. So that was very, very odd for a lot of people. And then if he decides to write something in the website, Pravda.ru, that editor said, we would love to post anything John McCain happens to write. Can you imagine the web traffic right there? So McCain's camp has not said definitively in an official statement either way whether or not he would be writing in the newspaper or on the website, although media reports have quoted one of his staff members saying that the staff is contacting the website's editor. So we will see if anything happens. Now, as baffled as the Russian public may have been at this, one person did step forward and offer McCain a spot on television. That's right. A news presenter on the Rossiya television channel said that he would love to feature McCain on his interview show, and if he would just fly over and come in for one of those time slots, he would get an interview on television. We shall see which one McCain accepts and watch the drama unfold. Kerry.
Lindsay, we shall see indeed. Thanks very much indeed.